the best way to get better at programming is to practice. And in this example, we're going to work with a function that takes multiple arguments. As always, this file is available for download using a link provided below in the description. We'll pause for just a couple seconds so you can download it, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's get started. So what we need to do is create something that's going to print out the full name of a person. However, they're going to be passing in the first and last name separately, but we're going to print it out as the last name, or surname if you prefer, comma, and then their last name. So first thing I'm going to do is going to create a function prototype. This is going to be void because we're not returning any values. Then we're going to have our function name, print name, and then it's going to take two strings. Notice that I separate out string with a comma. Once again, I'm just going to copy this. Makes it a little bit easier to write out. Put in my function body. Then I have to give my parameters names. So I'm going to say string, this is going to be first, and string last. Here I'm going to print out my information. So it's very simple, and I'm just going to say cout last, a comma, and then first. If I want, I can put an indel here just to make it a little bit cleaner. So you notice that this is very simple. I'm using my variable names that I get from my parameter list. I'm using inside my function. I don't have to use them in the same order that I get them. And we can see this because I'm mixing them up. Just like in our previous example, that function is not called or used until we call it inside of another function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to specify print name, and then I need to pass in my two parameters. If I do not pass in my parameters, this will generate an error for me. So I'm going to specify John and Smith. Now if I go and run this, it should print out Smith, comma, John. And that's exactly what you see here. So this is something that we actually do fairly common. We'll have like a first name and a last name inside of a big database, and we need to print it out, but we need to sort it by a last name, or we need to join these two names together. So little things like this are things that get used quite a bit. In fact, there's some easier ways to handle this later on that you'll see. But for now, we have a nice simple example of how to do this. If this example was helpful for you, please consider giving the video a like, and then look at the rest of the series to learn how to get better at programming in C and C++.